This is my film analysis on Knives Out. Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson and released in 2019, explores deeply into how wealth, power, and morality become superficial once threatened. Through a deep analysis into the slave rule scene, Johnson effectively uncovers the Fromby family's entitlement and arrogance, encouraging the audience to criticize privilege and greed. In the slave rule scene, the Fromby family argues with the will reader to prevent Martha from inheriting Harlan's wealth. This moment exposes their entitlement and sparks the main conflict of the film. For example, in this short segment of the scene, Johnson utilizes the shot reverse shot, which places the audience at the center of the confrontation and creates the illusion of a real-time conversation, evident in Joni, who mentions the Slayer rule to Alan. This makes the argument more immersive and suspenseful, as if the audience were part of the dispute. As the tension rises, the framing becomes tighter through medium shots, highlighting the family's increasing reactions of desperation, anger, and shock. Johnson further explores power and control through camera angle and movement. The low angle shots on the family makes them appear dominant, reinforcing their sense of entitlement. An example of this is when Jacob introduces undue influence, as the camera pushes in towards Walt, who begins to respond aggressively. This push-in emphasizes Walt's desperation and manipulative attempts to assert dominance over Alan. In addition, push-ins, tilts, and pans are used to amplify the effect of their reactions, building pressure. The occasional use of static framing makes the family seem deceptively composed, masking their desperation and urgency. In contrast, Alan is shot at eye level and with static camera positioning. This creates a sense of neutrality and authority while highlighting the family's irrational behavior. This encourages the audience to view Alan as someone representing order and control. Therefore, the audience is positioned to see the Fromby family as manipulative, unstable, and unrelentless. Moving on to mise-en-scène, a fundamental film technique that means setting the stage. The chaos of the scene, such as verbal attacks and constant interruptions, contrasts heavily with the elegant setting of the mansion. The use of chiaroscuro lighting creates shadows across the characters' faces, suggesting concealed tension and motives despite their wealthy appearance. The many hidden and impactful details of the mansion include antique furniture, a warm color palette, and decorative objects, which reflects Harlan's earned wealth, fortune, and status, reinforcing the family's privileged position. The higher status clothing that the family wears contributes to their wealth and superiority among others. However, the polished and decorative clothing the family wears contrasts heavily with their behavior, exposing the hidden corruption that degrades morality. In addition, the crowded arrangement of the family creates a sense of suffocation and dread, reinforcing the tension as they continue to fight over the will's control. This causes the audience to view wealth and status as overvalued, and that having those privileges does not equate to morality. Through the compelling use of sound, Johnson increases the tension within the scene. The diegetic sound of continuous dialogue and constant interruptions constructs a chaotic atmosphere. This reinforces the family's desperation and loss of power and control. Later, non-diegetic orchestral music plays as the camera shifts towards Detective Benoit Blanc. This amplifies the effect of the camera movement zoom in, which builds suspense. The constant use of legal terms such as the Slayer rule and undue influence highlights the family's obsession with inheritance, demonstrating how they hook onto anything that opens an opportunity of inheriting the will. Johnson encourages the audience to view the Fromby family's driving factor for conflict as greed rather than genuine emotion and complaints. In conclusion, Johnson's effective use of cinematic techniques allows him to transform what was the reaction to a will reading into a moment of pure chaos, revealing the Fromby family's entitlement and greed. By utilizing camera work, lighting, sounds, dialogue, costume, and mise-en-scène, the audience is placed in a position to criticize the loss of morality that may accompany the obtainment of undeserved wealth. Thank you for watching my film analysis on Knives Out.